Hi, my name's Paul Stanley, and you might not recognize me sitting here without a costume and makeup, but I'm the lead singer for a rock band called Kiss. That's my appearance on stage and how audiences around the world know me. But it's not who I am. This is me, the person behind the makeup or the mask. I'm here today to talk to you about differences. If you look around your classroom now, you'll see that none of us really looks the same. We're all different, and that's what makes us special. I'm part of an organization called AboutFace. We work with people who look different, people who may have been born with an unusual birthmark, or some who have been in accidents, and that's what makes them look different. I bet you don't know this, but I was also born with a facial difference. You're probably wondering what my difference is, but you know something? I'm not comfortable talking with you about it right now. You see, we just met, and I want to have some fun with you first before we talk about me. Do you know what the word appearance means?
What you look like, the way something looks. The word appearance means what a person, place, or thing looks like. What you look like.
The way something looks like from the outside.
That's right. It's the way something looks on the outside. Do you know what first impression means?
It's like when you see somebody or something for the first time.
The first thing you see. The way you feel when you first meet somebody or first see somebody.
The first ideas you have when you meet somebody.
It's when you first meet someone and the feelings that you have.
Well, that's right, too. It's the first feelings or ideas that you have about a person, a place, or a thing. You know, quite often our first impressions of someone change once we get to know them better. Once you've met someone, you might start to wonder about who they are, then you have some questions for them. That's called curiosity. You become curious about a person, where they're from, what they look like, what they're good at. Being curious about something that's new and different is very important because that's how we learn new things. Just like we're learning about each other right now. And you know, being curious can be fun. Now here's an interesting package. Let's take a close look at it. It's bigger than a shoebox, it's colorful and beautifully wrapped. I'll bet you're curious about what's inside because I sure am. What do you think's inside?
Maybe a game.
Clothes.
Candy.
I think it's a toy. Nintendo.
An action figure or something. Video games. Stuff I like.
Those were good ideas. It could be any one of those things. Maybe. What do you think we can do to develop our curiosity about this package? Well, we can shake it. We can smell it. We can even try to listen to it. What about if I throw it on the floor and stomp on it? Would that be a good idea?
No, because you might break it.
No, because it may damage whatever inside.
No, it might be something fragile.
No, because you don't know what it is and you might break it.
It's really not a very good idea.
No, of course not. If I do that, I might break whatever's inside before I've had a chance to see it. Let's open the package carefully, and we'll find out what's inside. Now, that's not very exciting, is it? It's a rock. It's rough to touch, it's gray in color, and it's pretty heavy to hold. Do you think it's beautiful based on its appearance? Wow, that's fantastic. This is called a geode. Isn't it funny? No one would have guessed that our colorful package contained a rock. And no one would have guessed that our rough gray rock was so beautiful inside. I guess that the geode's outside appearance and first impression didn't tell us much about what was actually on the inside. Now that reminds us how important it is to look on the inside before we decide whether we like it or not. Now let's talk about people. Have you ever thought about people as if they were packages? If you were to describe yourself as a package, what would your wrappings be?
Well, everything outside.
My body.
My skin, my hair.
Skin, hair, clothes, my glasses,
My hair, my eyes, my nose, my mouth.
That's right. All of your features make up what your wrapping is. And it's not just your appearance. It's the way you walk, how you speak, all the other things about our outer selves that people can see. But like the package in the rock, your wrappings don't tell us very much about who you are. Your outer appearance doesn't tell us whether you like to tell jokes or read, or whether you like to play hockey and basketball. Appearance doesn't really tell us much about the things that you like to do. Now that we've talked about appearance, I'd like you to meet a friend of mine. I want you to watch carefully, and then I'm going to ask you some questions. Okay, now that you've watched the video, what did you notice about the appearance of my friend?
She had a scar on her face.
A very puffy cheek with bumps.
On her face, she had like sort of a rash. That she had a birthmark that went around her eye and her cheek.
It looked like she had a burnt cheek.
Her brown hair and brown eyes and that.
Her hair was like reddish brown.
That's good. We noticed the color of her eyes, the length of her hair, her facial difference. But we don't really know anything about her, do we? We don't know if she has a brother or a sister, or whether she likes to dance and eat pizza. We don't even know her name. But I'll bet you're all curious about her face, though. I know I am. And I wonder what happened to her. Was it an accident? Was she burned? I wonder if it hurts, or if someone else can catch it. Do you think it would be appropriate to ask her about her face, considering we just met her?
Absolutely not. No, because it might hurt her feelings.
She might not want to talk about it. I think I'd rather get more comfortable around her than ask her.
That's right. If we ask her before we get to know her, we might make her feel uncomfortable. And she might think that all we were interested in was her facial difference. So let's find out some more about her.
I'm Colleen Wheatley. I'm 12 years old, and I live in Simcoe, which is a small town in Ontario. I go to Elgin School, and I just switched there this year to go there for grade 7. It's a big school because it's got kindergarten to grade 8. I like off school better than school. I like doing stuff, but I hate homework. My sport that I play and I have the most fun playing and I'd rather play than any other sport is basketball. Basketball's our family sport because our dad's tall and good at it. So
look for the open person.
my sister's Claire. Claire's on a different team. She's 14, so got an older sister, you know what that's like.
Stole it.
We've got a dog, he's a little mutt. Come on. When I grow up, I want to be a vet so far. That's my main thing that I want to be, because I love animals. And just like a regular person, just like you, everybody's, like, not totally same, but like anybody else that you might meet.
Now that's told us a whole lot more. What new things have we learned about my friend?
Her favorite sport was basketball. She has a dog and she likes pizza.
When she's older, she wants to be a veterinarian.
She liked to hang out with her friends.
She likes to try and make friends, and she's not quite that shy like other people.
She seems to be interested in many of the same things that you and I are. Although she looks different on the outside, she's a lot like you and me. Now that we're getting to know her, she sure seems to be a fun person, but we still don't know what happened to her and what her friends think. Let's watch some more.
I've got a hemangioma on my face, and I'm not sure how I got it. I got it a few days after I was born, so, like, for me, as far as I can remember, I've had it. And if somebody asks me what it is, I usually explain it as a birthmark. But for my friends, like, it's not really an issue with my face becoming friends. I've got 4 main hangout friends.
Oh my gosh, I'm turning into you.
First I met Angela because our backyards were joined.
I'll see if you can borrow either Chris or Mom's tape.
We used to be neighbors, so we just spent a lot of time together, then just became best friends. I guess being like around each other all the time and just sharing your feelings and everything like that.
We went through some things together, like it was both hard for us and like understanding each other when nobody else could.
She's like really funny. She always tells jokes and she makes me laugh. She's fair, and if you get in a fight, she looks at both sides of the story. Like, she doesn't go and blame you first.
Go for it later.
I guess all my other friends liked her, so I just got to know her a little bit more. So she just became my friend.
Like, you know that? Yeah. I love Coco.
First time I met her, I was a little shy, and then as the weeks went by, I started to get closer to her. And then this year, I saw her every day, so it was a lot easier, and so we became good friends.
I met Colleen in the 1st grade. She became my friend because she was like really nice to me, and she was the first person that actually came up to me and like asked if I wanted to play with them and stuff. So that's how I met her. Really.
My friends are fine with my face. They won't bring it up, but I will, and then they'll talk about it. Like sometimes I'll talk like serious with them, but usually it's like doesn't come up.
I wondered a bit about her face, but I didn't want to say anything.
I was probably like puzzled because, you know, I never saw that before, and it's kind of strange, but it didn't matter.
The first time I saw her, I didn't really know what to think, and then I don't see it anymore at all.
For my friends, like, as far as I know, like, they might have asked some of my other friends, which I guess is okay for them to find out if they're more comfortable. So I don't think it's, like, come up during, like, making our friendship, really.
When I look at Colleen, I just see a nice person. It doesn't matter to me what she looks like. It's no big deal.
Now I understand what happened to her. She was born with a birthmark that doctors call a hemangioma. Do you remember what her friends said about their first impressions of Colleen? They said they felt strange and puzzled, and that they were curious about her facial difference, but they were afraid to ask. When you first saw Colleen, did you feel that way too? It's okay to have those feelings when you first see someone or meet someone who looks different. When I first met Colleen, I had those feelings as well, but once I got to know her and understand what happened to her, I became comfortable and I wasn't so curious anymore. I'm sure that you're feeling more comfortable now that you're learning more about Colleen. What did Colleen's friends tell us about her?
She's different like everybody else. That she was a very fair and kind person.
Like when they got into fights, she always looked at both sides.
She was fun to hang around with.
She's a nice person.
No, they liked her, and like she was sort of funny. She's a very good friend.
Colleen sure seems to have a lot of friends who really like her. When you think about it, people are a lot like the package with the geode in it. You really have to get to know them from the inside to find out if you like them or not. Their outside appearance doesn't tell us much. Actually, we're all different on the outside, and sometimes we just make the mistake of deciding whether someone's going to be our friend by the way they look. Let's watch the rest of the video and we'll find out what makes a good friend and what some other kids have said about looking different.
Grown. What do you say? When a new person moves to your class, to your school or something, then they could be your friend or not.
What I want you to think about today is important qualities in friends for you, okay? What's important to you in a friend?
A person that likes you just for who you are and not your popularity.
Okay. Cool.
Someone you can have a conversation with.
How you can be kind and not like mean, so they don't boss you around.
Have you ever experienced a time when someone said something hurtful to you? Becky?
They always make fun of me because I'm short.
TJ.
About grade 5, I was made fun because of the way my teeth are. Like, I'd be called, like, buck-tooth beaver and stuff. And this annoyed me a lot.
No, I don't blame you for being annoyed. That would be very upsetting. So how did you handle that?
Mainly, I told them, stop bugging me, and I walked away. Right with my friends.
We all have physical differences because none of us look the same. Colleen?
Like, I've been made fun of my face, like, a bunch of times in, like, different ways.
And how did that feel?
Crummy. Didn't feel good.
I think people make fun of people that are different than them because everybody's different and some people don't understand the differences. So, like, they put them down to make themselves feel better.
Staring is not something I like having people do to me, because it's just like people are like scared or something.
You've got to bring back your other ones, okay? You've got Franklin plays the game, and Darren.
Usually the people who ask me the most about my face is little kids. They'll wonder more, and they're curious too. People my age have asked me, sometimes rudely, sometimes not so rudely. I guess some people are good at handling and some people just aren't. If you ask, like, what's wrong with your face? Oh, and then, like, you could start a conversation from there or something, like, just how you would usually make a new friend. And, like, it would be better, I think, if you asked the person, and otherwise you might, like, be wondering, like, what's with my friend's face for a while, and it might just not be a good situation. And just, like, kind of give the person a chance like you usually would when you meet someone.
Being teased. Wow, I can remember being teased when I was in school. I say that if you think about it, every one of us has been teased at some time or another. Have you ever been teased? And how did it make you feel?
Not good. It made me really sad and angry.
I remember being teased and I didn't like it.
It felt bad.
It felt kind of bad and sad, and it made me kind of nervous.
It felt like embarrassing.
Nobody likes to be teased. Being teased makes you feel sad, angry, it makes you feel hurt and lonely. And there are many ways of teasing people. We tease people by name-calling, by telling hurtful jokes, and by not including someone in our games and leaving them out. There's another thing we do that's considered teasing. What do most of us do when we see someone who looks different?
Staring. They stare at them. They stare at people and they ask questions.
Keep on, like, staring at them.
That's right. Staring is another form of teasing, and it makes people feel really uncomfortable. Remember when I was going to throw the package on the floor? Well, staring and teasing can do the same kind of damage to a person's feelings. By not being careful, we can break what is inside people too. That video of Colleen was made a few years ago, and today she's in high school. What do you say we meet Colleen and we can talk to her about her facial difference? Hey, Colleen.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
It's great that you could be here. I really enjoyed watching your video.
Good, yeah. The video was a long time ago, but it was a lot of fun to do.
Can you tell us some more about what you're doing today?
Well, I'm in high school now, so I'm in grade 12. I pretty much like doing the same stuff. I still play basketball. I'm involved with student council, that sort of thing, and I still like hanging out with my friends the same as I did then.
Right. When we watched your video, we noticed that you have a facial difference. Now that we know you a bit better, can we ask you about it?
Yeah, sure.
Have you ever had any surgeries? Does it hurt?
I've had surgery twice, and the surgery does hurt. I was bruised. I had a broken nose from it, so I had to go to school with a nose cast. But after that, it was all right, and I'm glad I did it.
Well, I have a facial difference, too. I was born with one called a microtia, and that means a small ear. And I had a lot of surgeries, 5, I think, and they were so that my doctor could build a new ear for me. School was sometimes really hard because kids often teased me about my ear. They just didn't understand or stop to think about my feelings. They could have asked. I would have liked that a whole lot better than having them stare all the time. After watching your video, we talked about being curious about someone with a facial difference and how staring really is a form of teasing. you like being stared at?
No, I don't think anybody likes being stared at. But it's also something I've grown used to almost. I've always had to deal with it. So I'm almost used to it when I go out and people stare out of curiosity. But I like it a lot better when they ask and they say, hey, why is your face different? Because then I can deal with it instead of like the kids going off and they're still wondering about it. This way it's dealt with, it's out in the open. It's better.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. How do you feel when someone smiles at you?
Well, I think everybody feels better when someone smiles at them. It's just nice, it makes you happy, and I usually smile back, and it's something good.
Yeah, that makes me feel happy too. And I'm very happy that we're working together with AboutFace to help kids understand what it's like to grow up with a difference. Thanks for sharing your feelings with us, Colleen. And thanks to you too for spending time with us, thinking about our differences and our similarities. We all have something that is different about us, but what we share is greater. Take time to get to know someone before you decide whether you want to be their friend. Look past the outside wrapping and see what's on the inside.